Okay, in the last video, we were in Unit 3, Lesson 1, Step 6, or Step 5, actually. And we have added in the ability to jump. So when we put in the jump, we have it jump once. The problem is we can keep jumping, which is kind of crazy. So we are going to now add the ability to tweak that, add a jump force so we can only jump once, and modify our gravity. So it does seem a little bit more like the gravity is going to pull you down a little bit faster, so it seems more natural. So in our code, we are going to basically get rid of this number that we have right here, add in a variable so we can keep that more natural, plus add it into our actual game so we can modify it there as well. So we know that when something is private, it's only within our game, or within our code. If we make it public, we can modify it within the game window. So we can modify it as we are working within our game, and then later make it private if we'd like to. So let's start by putting in a variable for our jump force, which is this number, and then also our gravity modifier. Now, as we do this, again, our gravity modifier is something that you'd kind of want to not vary too much from 1, because 1 is our typical gravity. So let's go make both of these float. So we're going to maybe make it no more than 1.5 or something like that. So let's do our jump force. Let's call it jump force. Again, this is our name that we're giving it, so you can really call it whatever you want. So, and just in general, when we do when we do the practices here, we try and name it the same. So when I refer to it or Carl refers to it, you know what he's talking about. So public, another float, and this one's going to be our gravity modifier. And some of these are things that you would continue to name as you continue code. You always want to name it something that makes sense. So again, it might be something that you would name in the future for your other programs because it makes sense. So like a jump force would be the force of your jumping. You call it force jump or jump force or the force of your jumping. Gravity modifier is to modify your gravity. Again, these are names that you're making up. In our down here, we're going to go ahead and replace this with our jump force. And down in our code, down here at the start, we want to actually we're going to add something called physics. So we're going to create the physics of our gravity modifier. So we have just our normal gravity is 1. And if we want to change that gravity to be a little bit different than 1, like a typical world gravity of 1, we're going to change that to be maybe a little bit different because we're not in a normal world. So let's go ahead and adjust our physics. So physics, I can spell physics. And we're going to adjust our gravity of the physics. We want that to be equal. Times and equal. So what does times equal really mean? So times equal really means physics equals physics times gravity modifier. So I think we might have been through this before, but we could say physics equals physics times gravity modifier, or physics times equals is like a short way of doing it. Gravity modifier. So it's just like if we say in a for loop, we might say I plus plus would be the same thing as I equals I plus 1. Is the same thing as I plus plus. This is just the same thing as saying, physics. This is the same thing. Put this in the comments. I'm going to go ahead and copy this and put this in the comments and change with this. So physics, this is the same thing as saying physics equals physics dot gravity. It doesn't type it for me here. Gravity times gravity modifier. So this is the same thing. Oops, if I spell this right. Page there. So this would be the same thing. So physics equals physics. Physics equals physics times gravity is the same thing as saying physics times equals gravity. So it's the same thing. It's just shorthand for that. Okay, we got that so far. So this kind of plays in the game right away. We're modifying our physics of our gravity modifier. And we're using this gravity modifier. I'm going to go ahead and set this right now. I kind of like to do this jump force here, and we're going to say what the jump force is equal to now. So we replaced it, so let's go ahead and make it equal to, we said 500. Let's go ahead and make it 500. And then our gravity modifier, let's go ahead and make it equal to 1.5. And then we have to put an F after that because we use a decimal. We don't have to put the F after this because we didn't use a 0.0, but if we did, then we have to put the F there and when we're typing this out. Let's go ahead and save that, and let's look in our game, in our player. You should see now that there is the jump force is here, the gravity modifier here, and then our mass is here. So these kind of three play against each other. So our mass is like our body, and of course, the more you weigh, the more you have to push up, and then the gravity pulls you down. So these three things are playing in triangulation with each other. So if you put more mass to go up, you have to push more, you have to push that up. So these three things, as you start to play with this, you kind of have to work with, how this is working. So if I want to be able to jump higher, of course, that's a double jump. We're going to get rid of that in a second. I want to be able to figure out, like, I might need to still jump higher. So what do I can modify something here, and I can do this in the game. So maybe I want to do a 600 here instead and see what happens. And I should have been able to do it while I was playing, and my game is kind of funking out on me. So if I change this to be 600 here, that's why we do it in the game, so we can do it right in this screen and see what happens if I do a jump force of 600. And maybe that's going to be high enough. We'll see. Probably not. Maybe. But this gravity modifier, I like the way she kind of comes down a little bit more natural. Maybe it's still not very natural. So let's see if I do a 700. Oops, let's go ahead and stop it and do 700 here. So I want you to play around with yours to see about how this is going to work. I am going to go ahead and move on. We want it to look very natural as it comes down. So again, this gravity modifier still is not, she's not coming down very natural. So I'm gonna change this gravity modifier to 2 and make it see if she comes down a little bit more natural. I want her to like come down. Let's see, one jump. That seems more natural to me, like she's coming down more natural. And I like my 700, and I feel like, yeah, she's kind of coming down with a thud. That seems more natural. Okay, so gravity modifier of 2 seems good for me. That you do what you do, right? You figure out what's good for you. This works good for me. All right, you figure out what numbers are good for you. You can just leave it in your game, or you can go back to your code and adjust that. The next thing we're going to do in this video is to prevent the double jump. So we need to figure out what is going on with this double jump. We added that in there with your body, modifier, jump force. Yeah, okay, so now we're going to go into our back into our code, and we're going to talk about like how do we know if we don't want her to jump twice. So we're going to do something. We're going to add in another variable, and this is going to be a public bool. So a bool is like a boolean, and a bool is a boolean, not like a bool is a boolean. So bool, and that is either you like true or false. It's either on or off, true or false. Yes, no. It's a boolean. Is we're going to name it called is on ground, so we understand what this means. So again, you're naming it however you can name it yes, no, but that would make no sense. We're going to name it so it makes sense to us. Is on ground, and we're going to start off being true. So we're saying she is on the ground. It is true. End it with a semicolon. I notice in his code in his example, he did not name it. He did not put it. He did not put a semicolon there. In our void update, we're going to add in something here. So basically, when it is on the ground, so it starts off being true. So basically, when she's on the ground, it is true. We're going to say when you hit the space key, if you can hit the space key, if we want to say if she's on the ground, you can hit the space key. and she'll jump, right? Or the player will jump. I say she because mine was it will jump. It will jump. So if you hit the space key, let's go outside of this space key parentheses. We're going to use the and sign. So that means and is on ground. When you just use the word is on ground, that means true. Okay. So is on ground. So if you hit the space key and is on ground, meaning true, then you can jump. We got that? So that is, and then when that happens, we're going to say, then the player can jump. Well, as soon as they jump, we want that to turn false. So with this if, so we're going to say jump, and then in that same sentence, we're also going to say turn it false. So we're going to say jump and turn false. So is on ground equals false. So we're going to say as soon as you jump, we want you to turn the is on ground false. We're good with that? All right, so now it's false. So it means it can jump and it can never do anything else. It jumps once and that's it, because it's now false. So basically, if we were to do nothing else, it would just stay false. What we need to say now is, how are we going to make it true again? Well, we're going to create a function, and a function is going to, we're going to create a method or a function. So make sure we don't go past this last bracket here. So this is the end of the class. We have to go outside of the void update. So make sure you go in between these two. So after this last bracket here, you're going to hit enter. Make sure you're staying inside this very last bracket, but after the void update, and we're going to start our new function. So we start with a private void, private and void. So to start our function, void, VO, oh my goodness, VO, they're right next to each other, easy to type. And we're going to name this on, and we're going to name it so on. Oh, actually, it's actually a command. So this this method is actually something that the computer understands. So it's an on collision method. So we want to make sure we name this this method. We're choosing a method that already exists, so we want to choose this on collision enter. And it creates it for us. So if you notice, if you hit on collision enter, it creates this, if you want to collide two things together, it created this for us. So we want to say, so when two things collide, we're going to say is true. So is on ground true. So is on ground, and we're going to say equals true. And so we're going to change it back to true. So this is a really easy one to do. So basically say, hey, when two things collide, it's going to be true. So let's go ahead and save this. Got it saved, no asterisk there. I hit Control S to do that. And let's see what happens. And we're going to test this out. So basically, if I hit play and I hit my mouse, and if I can't hit it twice, it's just, I'm clicking, and it's not jumping. It's just jumping once. So boom, it's only jumping once. Okay. All right. So we did that. That is pretty darn cool. And that is where we are with that lesson. So I'm going to go ahead and stop that recording there. The next thing we're going to actually move the obstacle left. So there's a lot to do in this very first unit here, but that's good. So we got our person moving left. Let's see if you can do this step and then move on to the next one.